He was ready to jump. Until a stranger did something so simple, it changed everything. Let's start. Picture this, if you will. It's a man standing on a bridge. The water below him is dark and deep. His head is bent down. His shoulders are slumped forward. He looks invisible. And more importantly, he feels invisible. Like nobody sees him. Nobody cares about him. He feels hopeless, alone, like there's no reason to live. From somewhere in the shadows, a stranger steps out, and he's heading right for the man. The man tenses up, pulling himself together, trying to find an escape. But it's too late. The stranger has stopped right in front of him. "Hello," says the stranger. "Why are you here?" The man doesn't respond. What can he say? How can he explain that life seems too hard and the pain never ends? "You look sad," says the stranger. And when the man continues to stare at the water, he takes it as his cue to respond. "I am sad." But then something unexpected happens. The stranger simply smiles and says, "Take care." Then he turns around and he starts walking away. The man calls out, "Wait, come back." The stranger stops in his tracks and turns around. "Yeah," he says. "What is it?" "Never mind," says the man. "Now, picture this. You're the man. This, your moment. What would you do next? Would you jump? Would you follow the stranger? What would you do?" Take a moment to think about your response. In some ways, this story reminds me of the classic story of the Good Samaritan. In Luke chapter 10, verses 25 to 37, we read about a man who was beaten up and left on the side of the road. First, a priest passes by, but he ignores the injured man. Then a Levite passes by, and he also ignores the man. But then a Samaritan comes along, and he takes care of the man. He pays for his lodging. He treats his wounds. He attends to him. And Jesus says to the man who asked him the question, "Which one of these three do you think was a neighbor to the man who fell among the robbers?" And the man responds, "The one who showed him mercy."
But Jesus says to him,
"Go and do likewise." So what did the stranger do? Well, he showed up. He noticed. He paid attention. He cared. He didn't cross to the other side of the street. He didn't ignore the man. He stopped. He smiled. He took the time to engage. And I think that these are important lessons for us to learn today. Here are 4 things that I take away from this story of the stranger on the bridge. Number 1. When we stop, when we pay attention, when we notice people, we make a difference. You might have noticed that many times throughout the course of this story, I've used the word notice or paying attention. When we pay attention to people, when we see them, when we acknowledge them, when we notice them, we make a difference. Have you ever noticed that when someone acknowledges you, when someone says hello to you, when someone smiles at you, it makes a difference to your day? Well, that's exactly what the stranger did, and it made all the difference for the man. Number 2, sometimes just being seen is enough. Sometimes just being seen is enough for someone to not give up. Sometimes all someone needs is for someone to show up, to pay attention to them, to say hello to them, to smile at them, to engage with them, to tell them that they matter, that they're important, that they're valuable. Number 3, it doesn't take much to save a life. And that's an important thing to remember. It doesn't take much to save a life. In fact, all it took in this story was a smile. So if you're thinking, well, I can't donate money, so what good am I doing? Or, I don't have a lot of time. I can't volunteer. Well, just showing up, just paying attention, just being present, just smiling at someone, just saying hello to someone, that could save a life. And number 4, you never know who you might help. You never know who you might help. Like the man on the bridge could have said, "Thanks, but I don't need any help," and walked away. But instead, he called out to the stranger. He wanted to talk. He wanted to engage. And because of that, he saved his own life. If you've ever worked in mental health, if you've ever been involved in suicide prevention, you've probably heard the phrase, "No plan is safe from a plan." That means that even if someone tells you that they don't have a plan, that they're not going to hurt themselves, you still have to take it seriously. You still have to ask questions. You still have to pay attention. You still have to show up. Because someone may not have a plan today, but they could come up with one tomorrow. And you don't know what tomorrow holds. We are all responsible for noticing, for caring, for being there, for being present, for making sure that people know that they're loved, that they're cared for, that they're important, that they're valuable. And oftentimes, all it takes is for us to just show up and smile. I'm gonna end with this quote from C.S. Lewis. Hating people is easy. It takes great love and energy to really understand people, to offer them one's own heart, open, no matter what lies behind their eyes. And I'd love to invite you to practice the narration. Feel free to pause the video now and let the emotion of those words sink in. Take your time and let yourself feel anything that comes up. What does this quote make you think of? What memories come to mind? What emotions come to mind? What stories come to mind? And after you finish the narration, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What did you notice? What surprised you? What challenged you? Thanks for watching. If this story touched your heart or taught you something new, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. More inspiring stories are just a click away.